Prince Harry comforted mother of Invictus Games competitor who died in Ukraine war. There was a lot of emotion. Prince Harry comforted the mother of a fallen Ukrainian soldier who had previously taken part in his Invictus Games competition when he visited the country. The Duke of Sussex, 41, was welcomed by veterans and armed forces members in the war-hit country. When he made an unannounced tour of the capital Kyiv on September 12. At one of the first stops, where he met with a group of veterans at a memorial, the welcome he received for recognizing their plight was palpable. There was a sense of excitement for the fact he was there in Kyiv and showing his support for the veterans. Says Josh Boggy, who is the International Community Manager for the Invictus Games Foundation and was among the entourage traveling with Harry. He is adored, not just by Ukrainians but all the military from all the Invictus nations around the world. Invictus Games Foundation Conference in Kyiv with Prince Harry and the Invictus Games Foundation executive team. You could feel the aura in the room when he walked in. He was hugging the veterans, and they were hugging him back, he adds. He was in his absolute element in that room. There were also families of those who have been serving in the 3-year conflict since the Russian invasion of spring 2022. One of those was the mother of a former Invictus Games captain, who has since been killed in the conflict, Boggy says. The Duke gave her a big hug, he recalls. There was a lot of emotion. Prince Harry's visit came after a week of engagements in the UK, and a reunion with his father. King Charles, in an interview with The Guardian while in Kyiv, his only reference to the meeting was that his focus really has to be on my dad and saying he'd like to spend more time in the country of his birth. Invictus Games Foundation Conference in Kyiv with Prince Harry and the Invictus Games Foundation executive team. Harry traveled to Ukraine with members of his Invictus Games Foundation as they cement their mission to help the recovery of those who have been wounded in the more than 3 years of conflict, while the foundation runs the headline-making adaptive sports contest that takes place every 2 years. This year's was held in Vancouver and Whistler, BC, and the next one is in Birmingham, England, in 2027. It also plays a supportive role in an increasing number of nations in helping veterans and the injured in their rehabilitation. The Duke of Sussex visited Ukraine in April but had not traveled to Kyiv. The big takeaway for me was seeing these guys and girls who have been through hell and back and living with their injuries and disabilities and seeing the smiles on their faces when the Duke walked in, Boggy adds. He would try and give time to everyone and see how they are getting on in their recovery journeys. They are working with NGOs and governments in Ukraine and around the world on projects. Ukraine has been a member of the Invictus Games family since 2017. New countries, like Nigeria, have also joined in recent years, and the current number is 25. Can't get enough of People's Royals coverage? Sign up for our free Royals newsletter too. Get the latest updates on Kate Middleton, Meghan Markle and more. The Invictus Games is the jewel in the crown, but away from the competitions themselves, we can also help drive systemic change across a global movement, he adds. The foundation has donated some sports equipment to be used by veterans in Ukraine in their recovery, and they are hoping to extend and encourage greater commitment to provide sports help away from the big cities. Prince Harry walks on the airfield at Goodwood Aerodrome as he is shown a Spitfire aircraft that will take place in a Battle of Britain flypast at Goodwood on September 15, 2015. Meghan, Duchess of Sussex attends the Children's Hospital Los Angeles Gala 2024. Prince Harry turns 41. See his best throwback photos from his royal childhood. Prince Harry sits in his bedroom at Eton College. Within limits, students are allowed to decorate their room themselves. At typical student room, he has a stereo music sound system, posters, and on his desk a photograph of his mother Diana. This is one of a series of pictures released ahead of the prince completing his studies at Eton boarding school. Boggy was injured in Afghanistan and, like many British Armed Forces members, came back into Birmingham, where the Queen Elizabeth Hospital took the lead on rehabilitation and recovery treatment programs. "I spent a good deal of time at the start of my recovery journey in Birmingham," he says. "The fact that the games are going to be there is great. And it's good that they are coming back to the UK as well."